So, what's up guys? I am Rian Peñaflor and I am from Group 4. And I am here today along with my other group mates to discuss to you what we have learned during the 1st to 4th grading of Mapeh Health 8. So, let's get started. On the first grading, we've tackled about the gender and human sexuality. But first, let us find out what is the short definition of adolescence. Adolescence is a period when a person undergoes a lot of changes, especially physical and emotional changes. Primarily, teenagers experience physical changes that are very observable. Some physical changes may also be observed, such as the onset of menstruation for the females and the development of hoarse or bold voice for males. This period may bring about many issues that teenagers might be curious about, and their reactions and attitudes toward these issues might have a great influence in their lives. And one of these issues is sexuality.
As what Rian said earlier, that sexuality is one of the issues that teenagers are curious about. So what is human sexuality? Human sexuality is an integration of three dimensions: the biological, psychological, and the socio-cultural.
The first one, the biological dimension, is described by a person's biological or physical sexual characteristics. Second is the psychological dimension. It often includes the cognitive and emotional factors underpinning sexual response, social cognitive variables, interpersonal relationship variables, and cultural aspects influencing sexual functioning and behavior.
And lastly, socio-cultural dimension. It is an interactive and collaborative instructional context. Individuals have an opportunity for perspective taking and reflective thinking that may lead to higher levels of cognitive, social, and moral development as well as self-esteem.
Let's stop for a while and have a short explanation of identity crisis. Identity crisis is a feeling of not being sure about yourself and what purpose you have in life. This results to confusion and sadness. So some might ask, what is about sexual identity? It's easy. Sexual identity, it refers to the sexual self-concept adolescents or teenagers develop in themselves.
At the first time, teenagers recognize their feelings of sexual attraction marks in the beginning of their sexual identity, and they carry this throughout their life.
At this moment, let us now move on to teenage pregnancy, which us females should be aware about because in today's generation, teenage pregnancy is such a huge topic. So let us find out what is teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy, also known as adolescent pregnancy, is a pregnancy in a female under the age of 20. And pregnancy can occur with sexual intercourse after the start of ovulation. It usually occurs after the onset of periods. Also, teenage pregnancy brings about danger both for the teenage mother and for the child because teenage mothers are not psychologically prepared for pregnancy or for motherhood. And lastly, teenagers or teenage mothers tend to have a prolonged labor that delays the delivery of the baby, resulting to complications affecting the baby mostly. And that's all we have learned during the first grading of Mapeh Health 8.
What?
We are now on the second grading, which is all about dating, courtship, and marriage. At this moment, we are going to learn what are the definitions or the difference between the three and its importance, and we're gonna learn it one by one with my groupmates.
We are gonna start with dating. But first, what is dating? Dating is an activity in which people get together. It is also a way for people to be more aware of who they are and to acquire social and interpersonal skills. Dating may be done with a group when you go out with your friends, sometimes called barkada in school, in the church, or in the neighborhood to places like your friend's house.
So, the main purpose or the importance of dating is to determine the compatibility between the two people. It is because compatibility predicts the success and happiness of marriage, and that is our short definition about dating. Let us now move on to courtship.
We are now on the second topic, which is courtship. So, what is courtship all about? Courtship is the stage in which a man and woman assess each other. This provides an opportunity for both to determine if companionship could be sustained over a period of time without becoming bored or filled with conflict.
In a general sense, courtship period can be divided into three stages. One is dating. Main purpose to get acquainted and enjoy social activities with members of opposite sex to develop skills in a boy-girl relationship. 2. Serious courtship. Field of dating has narrowed to one or two persons and for the purpose of selection of marriage partner. 3. Engagement. The selection has been made and two people agree to marry each other.
We are now on the third topic, which is marriage. So what is marriage in the first place? Marriage is defined as the most committed male-female relationship. It is also a legal contract held together by bonds of intimacy and sharing, and also, according to Article 1 of the Family Code of the Philippines, marriage is a special contract of permanent union between a man and a woman entered into in accordance with law for the establishment of conjugal and family life.
But wait, there are also various forms of marriage. What are those? The first one is monogamy. It is a union of one man and one woman for a varying period of time. This has been the persistent type until present. This is widely practiced among cultures and societies, and most especially in Christian religions. The second one is polygamy, the state or practice of having two or more wives or husbands at a time.
We would also like to add a moral or a lesson that all of us should know when we grow older in the future, that despite the hardships, in order for us to have a healthy relationship and marriage, we should respect our partners, especially their privacy, and never ever forget that a husband and wife are still two different individuals with different interests. And that's all we have learned during the second grading of Mapeh Health 8.
We are now on our second to the last quarter, which is all about communicable disease. But let us first know the meaning of infection. An infection is a condition in which pathogens such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protozoans enter the body and multiply. The infection may result to tissue injury and even progress into a disease.
But did you know that infection with pathogen does not always lead or progress to disease? Disease will only occur when the infection damages the cell in your body and the signs and symptoms of the disease are seen.
Now that we know what is the short definition about infection, let us now move on to our main topic, which is communicable disease. But what is common disease anyways?
Communicable disease or infectious disease refers to any illness that can be passed or transmitted from one person to another, directly or indirectly, or through carriers called vectors. Its potential to spread poses a danger to a large population. Epidemics or pandemics may result if the spread of a certain disease will not be controlled.
Epidemic refers to the rapid spread of infectious disease to many people. A pandemic occurs when there is a global disease outbreak. There are also ways of transmission of a communicable disease, and these are direct transmission, indirect transmission, airborne transmission, and vector-borne transmission.
And did you know that there are some common communicable diseases in the Philippines? And these are the acute respiratory infections, pneumonia, bronchitis, influenza, tuberculosis, and especially dengue. And that's all we have learned during the third grading of Mapeh Health 8. And finally, we are on our fourth grading, which is all about the gateway drugs.
Gateway drugs are habit-forming substances that may not be addictive but may lead to the use of other addictive and dangerous drugs. Gateway drugs are usually inexpensive and readily available. Alcohol and cigarettes are considered as gateway drugs. The habitual use of these substances opens the door to use the other harder drugs such as cocaine, heroin, and others. Other types of gateway drugs are marijuana, inhalants, and some prescription drugs.
What is cigarette? Cigarette is a cylindrical rolled paper containing dried and shredded tobacco leaves. It is ignited at one end and pulled at the other, and its main component is nicotine, stimulant that is highly addictive. Cigarette also contains approximately 600 other ingredients.
The smoke coming from it contains more than 7,000 chemicals, 69 of which are carcinogenic or cancer-causing substances, and these chemicals can cause lung cancer that may lead you to death.
Here the reasons why people keep on smoking despite knowing its negative effects: peer pressure, parental influence, advertising and media, self-medication, stress relief, weight control, to feel mature and sophisticated, and risk-taking behavior.
Cigarette smoking affects every part of the body, both inside and out. The harmful chemicals found in the cigarette and in cigarette smoke damage the cells and every organs of the body. Some of this may happen immediately and others may take longer to occur. So, while everything is still early, quit smoking and take care of your health instead before it's too late. And that's all we have learned during the whole year of Mapeh Health 8. And we thank you, Miss Gladys, for teaching all of us. Thank you.